Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to my channel where we discuss the popular culture of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Wow. After all this time, we finally reached what I consider to be the golden age of cartoons. Guys, we've reached the 1980s. If you remember growing up in the 80s, you'll probably have great memories of an amazing amount of cartoons on the air. Whether it was here produced in North America like Hanna-Barbera cartoons or Rankin and Bass or any other of the studios that were producing cartoons at the time, or whether it was Harmony Gold importing a whole bunch of stuff from Japan and other places to broadcast here in North America. We just had a plethora of cartoons which you could enjoy, whether it was in the morning just before you went to school, getting back from school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, sitting yourself down in front of the TV and just watching your heart out. Or if it was Saturday morning when you knew you could just grab a bowl of cereal in the morning, chow down, and just watch amazing cartoons all day long. Cartoons were some of the greatest things in the 1980s. Today, guys, I wanted to look back at one of my favorite cartoons from the 1980s. It is, in fact, a robot from a galaxy far, far away. Now, I'm not talking about Star Wars. I'm talking about the Defender of the Universe, Voltron.
Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
Holy cow, Voltron. Oh man, where do I begin? I mean, seriously, it was a series which launched back in 1983, 84, something like that. And fast forward all the way to 2019, and Voltron is still relevant and on, well, not TV anymore, but definitely broadcasting in people's living rooms and on their laptops. Voltron is one of those properties which has lasted so long. It's a great cartoon from start to finish, and it really shows the lasting power of this property, especially since it's still here in 2019. Voltron's intro sequence is, shall I say, legendary. It has that power that really captures you right when you first start watching it. The mysterious music that starts coming in when you see the 5 line trails and their different colors actually coming towards the center of a star. Then they all appear and you can see the energy that surrounds them, and they start energizing themselves, and finally you see the form of Voltron in a silhouette, charging itself up and magnificently reaching back, creating the sword, the blazing sword itself, and then reaching back and letting out this incredible roar. Man, what a setup. It was this amazing introduction. The intro would continue talking about a united federation of planets and the fact that a new evil would be coming to rise up and Voltron would be needed once more. This really sets the stage for an incredible series, which as a kid, I just was not ready for. The idea that 5 space explorers would unite to bring back this legendary gigantic robot, I was so pumped for this the first time I saw it. I literally was just glued to the television, just looking at the screen, waiting to find out what happens next. It was just awesome. The first episode of Voltron starts out with 5 space explorers who are orbiting near the planet of Eris. Their ship is captured by Zarkon's forces. Zarkon is the tyrant of the universe, and he has been attacking the planet of Eris mercilessly for the past few years. We find out later that the 5 space explorers have been taken to planet Doom to await their fate. Zarkon controls his planet much like a kingdom in the medieval ages. His form of entertainment is gladiatorial expositions, where a gigantic robeast would actually be brought in to fight captured slaves. This is quite violent, and you know, for a kid back in the 1980s, it really was eye-opening. This gigantic beast would come in look at everybody around him and just start decimating everybody. And again, the way the film was cut, you could see that people were getting injured perhaps. They would cut it at just the right moment where you wouldn't be able to see any blood or any sort of excessive violence. But for whatever reason, on the channel that I was watching, WUTV, Buffalo 29, here in Ontario, they showed quite a bit. I mean, I remember watching the Robeast literally slice a guy in half. And again, like I said, they sort of cut it in a certain way that you couldn't really see what was happening. But I remember being a little bit shocked when I first saw it as a kid. It's something that just sticks with me even today, which is why I pretty much love anime, even now.
Right down into the monster's feeding pit, and he's eating up a storm.
As they're awaiting their fate, the 5 space explorers are introduced to us. Lance, Pidge, Hunk, Sven, and their leader, Keith. Each one of them is a specialized member of the group. One is intelligent, another one is incredibly strong, one of them has a cool head under fire, another one is very brash, but also reliable in the most deepest of situations. And then there's Keith, the leader of the 5. He is able to assess situations and get the best out of his team. In this instance, the best out of his team is trying to escape this deep, dark dungeon. They all work together and are able to climb out of this fortress.
Can you do it, huh?
Silly question.
They got it. We only need another minute.
Hold it, Hunk.
After escaping their dungeon, the 5 space explorers make their way to the shipyards on Planet Doom. They're able to commandeer a ship, which they're using to try and get to the nearest habitable planet. Zarkon, now learning of this escape, commands his forces, led by Commander Urak, to chase after the ship and destroy it.
Master, they're gone. The space explorers took our prison ship.
I command you to go after them at once and don't come back without them!
The 5 space explorers are able to make it to planet Eris, and as they approach the planet, they realize just what type of dire straits that the planet is in. The planet seems decimated, completely barren. The inhabitants are nowhere to be found. And unfortunately, right behind them is Urak.
But we're not out of trouble yet. I'll report again later. I hope. Gotta crash land on planet Eris fast!
This only serves to destroy the vessel, and the space explorers are thrown onto Eris, in the most arid and desolate of places. Keith then continues to lead his troop to find some sort of refuge. As they continue, they find their way into a dense jungle. It's the thick of night, and they really have no idea where they're going. Suddenly, they hear a very strange noise. As the sound becomes louder and louder, they realize that it's probably some sort of animal. As the bushings and the area starts to clear, they realize that the sound is coming from a grand statue in front of an immense castle.
It's a beautiful statue.
But it growls!
They continue their journey towards the castle. Thinking that it's abandoned, they open up the doors and call out to see if anybody's around. Suddenly, a light starts coming down the stairway, and they're greeted by an old man.
You cannot escape.
Who's there?
I was the castle diplomat. Now I'm keeper of these ruins.
The old man introduces himself as Koran, the main diplomat of the planet Eris. He continues to tell the team that Eris was once a planet of peace, and great technological advancement until Zarkon's forces came and attacked without provocation. He then instructs the team that they are not safe here. Keith recants to him as well that Zarkon already knows that they're on the planet and that he'll never give up. Koran says that he will do everything in his power to help the team, and that he believes that the princess of Eris, Princess Allura, will do everything in her power and give her blessing to the team as well.
And I am sure you will have the blessing of Her Royal Highness, Princess Allura.
She's beautiful.
This sets up the story of Voltron, Defender of the Universe. And for me, it hits all the right spots. Seriously, we're talking about giant robots, we're talking about castles, so many different enemies, robeasts, forces that you cannot defeat, and then you throw into the mix a princess, her father, the king, their loyal subjects, people who have been decimated, an entire planet which is on the verge of extinction. It is just a great, wonderful, massive tale. And it's all brought in to this crazy little episode. Wow, what more do you want out of such fantasy? It was just amazing as a kid coming in and watching this wonderful tale.
But Zarkon sent his old witch Hagar out to work her most powerful evil. She changed herself into a beautiful space goddess and lured Voltron close, then sent an enormous charge of destructive energy into him. She didn't succeed in destroying him, but she broke him into 5 separate units and sent them plunging back to the ground.
Koran continues the tale and explains that each lion is in its own designated area. The yellow lion is in the sandy desert. The red lion is deep in a volcano. The green lion is deep in the forest. The blue lion sleeps in the water. And the black lion has a sacred place somewhere on the castle grounds. This sets up the amazing tale of the reawakening of the legendary Voltron. I remember my first experience with this, and it really was just amazing. My imagination just kept running away with itself. I remember thinking to myself, first of all, how are they going to get out of this dungeon that they're captured in? After that, they end up at Eris, which is already decimated, so their situation gets even worse. And then there's a final hope in the idea of resurrecting a lost savior in Voltron. The story of Voltron is paced more of a classic tale. Unlike today, where we pretty much get a story wrapped up in like quick 1-hour bites or half-an-hour segments, this tale, just finding Voltron and trying to reassemble him and trying to bring him back to help fight the forces of Zarkon, it's told in about 4 episodes, which is crazy when you think about it today. But there's a wonderful sense of pacing, and it builds tension and really draws out every single bit of the lore of Voltron. Although the space explorers have found refuge in Castle Eris, Koran could give them the power of Voltron right away, but instead, he is set with a dilemma. He's trusted people before, and now is not so trusting. So, only with the blessing of Allura, the Princess of Eris, does he actually surrender the secrets of Voltron. But he's not done yet. Even after finding the actual secret, there's still one more quest that has to be made. And it's not until they find that last piece of the puzzle that all can be saved. This was one of those amazing openings to a series which would run for an immense long time. I believe it was like more than 72 episodes. The pacing, again, as I said, was great. The way they drawed out the actual finding of the lions, the keys, the introduction of the 5 space explorers as the new pilots of Voltron. And then even the dilemma of not being able to find one more piece of the puzzle was just great. In the meantime, Zarkon's forces are attacking constantly, and the space explorers, summing up whatever courage and strength that they have left, are faced with continual mounting odds. But somehow they figure out ways to win battles. As a kid, I really could not get enough of Voltron at the time. It was just one of those things where you have this great story of a struggle against insurmountable odds and heroes who are valiant enough to want to be able to take on this struggle. Then you have something which is precious enough to fight for, an entire planet, but in the case of the 5 space explorers, someone to pledge their honor to, which is very much the Princess of Eris. This harkens back to the old types of stories of chivalry and knighthood, and really is just a wonderful juxtapositioning of new technology versus old world beliefs. And it really does come together in one amazing, amazing package. So, you would think that this is just enough for a kid back in the 80s to be satiated and to enjoy just watching these episodes bit by bit, day after day, while coming back from home for school. But then, Matchbox, a toy company here in North America, hits you with this amazing, amazing thing. They bring out the 5-lion Matchbox set of Voltron. Oh my god, that's where everything just blows up. Kids are going crazy. They have to get this Matchbox set. This is just the start of Voltron Mania. And what do the 5 lions do? Of course, they form Voltron. It just doesn't get any better than that. Imagine you have a cartoon which talks about the legend of Voltron, and then you watch a commercial directly afterwards saying that you can own Voltron. Man, the 80s was truly an amazing time for kids. You could have everything you wanted and eat your cake at the same time too. It was truly incredible.
They can be made to unite like this.
I plan on making this segment into a continuing series here on my channel. There are just too many things involved in Voltron to cover in just one episode. In the next episode, I want to cover a little bit more about the history of Voltron, how it came to North America, and some of the little Easter eggs that come along with that. Then we're going to explore the other series of Voltron, Vehicle Voltron, as well as the subsequent follow-ups years in a row. Well guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please do leave me a like. It really helps me out. If you have any comments or suggestions on anime, toys, collectibles, or anything else you'd like me to review, please leave that in the comment section below. And please consider subscribing, as it helps you to realize that I'm doing a good job and that you guys enjoy my work. Well guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Geek proud. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to support the channel, please see the link in the description below. I've got more videos on the way, and we'll see you at the next one. Geek proud.